Episode 3. Sophia had been tirelessly searching for a house. She had found none, but Nora's fiancé, John, had. At Nora's request, John had mentioned it to his friend, an estate agent. Following his guidance, he had sent John straight to Daniel. Daniel had met a few clients, but none of them had impressed him. They all seemed overly clever, calculating, too sharp for his liking. He was looking for someone simple, unassuming. When he heard about Sophia through John, she sounded like the perfect fit. He handed over his card and asked John to contact him immediately. Soon, the message reached Sophia. "The agent called, Sophia. I've got good news for you," Nora said, her voice laced with suspense. "Did you find a house?" Sophia asked, her heart aching for the answer to be yes. "Yes," Nora nodded. Sophia exhaled in relief. She couldn't put into words how much this meant to her. As usual, they were sitting in the courtyard of the radio station. "Thank you so much. You have no idea how big a problem you've solved for me," she said from the depths of her heart. Nora smiled in response. "I'm giving you the agent's card. Meet him. He'll tell you the rest of the details." She unzipped her bag and handed it over. "Here, the agent's name is Daniel." It was a gray visiting card from Skyline Real Estates with the name, address, and number printed in white. She casually flipped it over. On the white back, something was written in red ballpoint ink. "Bungalow number 396, Sophia murmured. As usual, Daniel had arrived at the estate office. As usual, his temper was already flaring over something trivial. "It's not that big of a deal for you to be getting this worked up," Max said, as indifferent as ever. "You're telling me your brother-in-law will now be sitting at the agency with us, and you think that's nothing?" Daniel repeated in disbelief. Max tried to explain calmly. "Laura is the eldest. Then there are two brothers, Carl and Kevin. Carl is married and employed, but Kevin isn't mature enough yet. Their father passed away long ago, and since their mother's death, Carl and his wife haven't been treating Kevin very well. That's why Laura called Kevin here. You know how hard it is to find a job. Until he gets one, he'll sit here with us, and from now on, he'll get a third share of the commission." He had explained everything in detail, hoping the tragic story might soften Daniel's heart, but it only irritated his mind. "I have zero interest in your in-laws' family drama," Daniel snapped, his irritation rising. "We barely get commissions as it is, and now you're bringing in a third partner," he muttered. "Everyone comes with their own share of destiny. Maybe his luck will open doors for us too," Max tried to stay positive. Daniel didn't want to hear it. "I don't care. Just understand this. He cannot work here." "He can and he will," Max said firmly, losing his patience. "I'm also an owner of this place. I have every right to make decisions." Daniel was about to unleash another storm when the door opened. Both of them turned instinctively. Sophia walked in. Dressed in deep blue with a red sweater, holding her bag strap, she looked both striking and dignified at first glance. Her eyes met Daniel's, deep, dark eyes that left him momentarily stunned. "I'd like to meet Daniel," she said calmly. "Yes, that's me. Please, have a seat," he said, gesturing to the chair. She sat down quietly but confidently. Daniel pulled his chair closer. "How can we help you?" he asked politely, as though he hadn't been raging minutes ago. "John visited you recently about an urgent house requirement. You gave him this card." She handed it over. He flipped it over. The number 396 was written on the back, a mark he had made so he'd recognize the person when the card returned to him. He looked at Sophia again. A lone girl, desperate need, innocent face, hope in her eyes. A voice echoed in his mind. Perfect. The bungalow was quite far. Daniel drove Sophia there in Max's car. They barely spoke during the journey. Daniel focused on driving. Sophia stared silently out of the front seat window. The winter evening was breathtaking. She was surprised when they entered posh area, but stayed quiet. Maybe someone here was renting out a portion of their house, she assumed. The straight gray road turned into a slope. The car climbed, then stopped at the top. "Come," Daniel said, stepping out. She followed. He unlocked the gate. Holding her bag strap, Sophia looked around in disbelief. The house was nothing like she had imagined. It was a grand, luxurious bungalow. Her eyes paused on the engraved plaque on the wall. 396, a gift to my love. "Come inside," Daniel called, holding the door open. "Are you sure this is the right place?" she asked, suspicious. "Yes, absolutely. Come in, I'll explain everything," he assured her. To understand everything, she stepped forward. A gust of cold wind brushed past her, but she ignored it and went inside. The driveway and lawn looked freshly cleaned. A new, elegant swing had been installed. Gray brick steps gleamed. The interior was even more magnificent. Everything looked newly renovated, except for one thing, a strange, unsettling aura that hung over the house. "This is your house," Daniel announced, stopping in the hall. "Are you joking?" Sophia narrowed her eyes cautiously. "Why would I joke?" he asked, genuinely surprised. "I told you I need a low-rent house. I can't afford this place." "I know. The rent is only $500. No advance. The owner waived it." She stared at him, stunned. "What? $500 for this house?" "Yes." She couldn't believe her ears. A mansion like this for that rent? "This is unbelievable. Something's wrong. There must be a catch," she concluded. Daniel hadn't expected her to be so logical. He had thought she'd accept immediately. "You're right, the rent is low compared to the property's value, but the owner is helpless," he said calmly. "Helpless how?" "Some enemies spread rumors that the house is haunted, just to ruin its value. None of it is true." "But people believed it. Now no one wants to buy it. The owner wants to sell it, so he decided to let someone needy live here cheaply. Once people see it occupied, the rumors will die, and someone in need will be helped too." He delivered the half-truth convincingly. "Do you believe in paranormal things?" he asked, testing her. She nodded thoughtfully. "I don't, and neither should you." "There's no such thing," he said, trying to divert her mind. "So when are you shifting here?" he asked casually. "Never," she replied flatly. "What? Why?" "My heart isn't agreeing." "You're overthinking. I told you it's just rumors. Think about it. Where else will you find such a house for this rent?" he insisted, thinking about his commission. "I don't need such a grand house," she replied immediately. "Thank you for your help, but I'll look for another place. Sorry for the trouble." She walked out without listening further. Daniel stood there, stunned, watching her leave, along with the commission he thought was already his. To be continued.